and welcome to LA Lions Workshop, presented to you by Littlehampton Lions. Today we are going to be making one of these, which is a trivet for hot pans and whatnot in the kitchen, or a plant pot, or whatever you really want really. It is made out of hardwood. This particular one, and the one we're going to be making, is made out of oak, but you can use any hardwood, as I would recommend not using softwood. As it will rot basically, and it doesn't react well to heat. So we'll crack on with this. Okay, so I've got my piece of oak, which is 15mm wide, deep, and it was ripped off a huge chunk of oak, which took about half an hour, so that's why I'm not including that in this video. Again, with hardwood it will play havoc with your blades. It will blunt them like you wouldn't believe. So the idea is you take little nibbles, flip it over, nibble it again, and that way you get a plank out of a large piece of wood. So now we're going to measure this. As I said, it's 15mm wide, 15mm deep. It is 15.5 centimetres wide, so we need to make that 15.5 centimetres there. Well, I've already marked it. We need this to be a square, as close to a good square as we can get. So we'll just go to the table saw and rip that. Okay, so you can see I've got my sled here, and the blade is just above the level of the timber. So we're just going to rip this down now. We get a square, and we just make sure that that is as square as it can be, and that's looking pretty good, not bad. Right, we get rid of this and then we'll crack on with the next bit. Okay, so now we've got a square, we just need to mark out two cross lines here. So we know that's 15.5, so it's going to be 7.7 centimetres roughly. Okay, but get it as close as you possibly can. Then we draw a line down there, we flip it over and turn it and do the same. I've already marked out that measurement on there. So what we're left with is a line going that way, and if you flip it, it's going that way, but when you cut you need to turn it. I'll show you how to do that. So what we need to do is set the blade just so it's just halfway going through there. Right, so flip it over, we'll make our first cut. That was the first mistake. I forgot to move the fence. So now we need to get the fence sorted out. So we'll just transfer that line over. So you need to set that so the blade runs directly on that line. Like that. Now we can make our first cut. Okay. So we made our first cut, and as you can see we're just on the halfway mark there. Okay, so now what we do, we've got it going that way. Well, that's how it came out, like that. Turn it and flip it. Make another cut. Right, so now we haven't really gone deep enough yet because we're supposed to be seeing a little hole through there, but there's not one. So we'll just turn her up, quarter of a turn, and run her through again. Okay, we're there. As you can see, hopefully you can see a little hole through there. Just a little hole, that's all we're looking for. So I'm going to just give that another quarter turn because it's just not quite right yet. Run. Better, that's much better. Do you see that hole now? There you go. So what we need to do now, reseat that in there, release the fence, and using a piece of scrap that has to be the same thickness as that, so obviously a piece you've cut from the original piece of timber, place that in there. It's a little too tight. There you go, just like that. Then what we do, again, we've got the cut going that way. Put her over to the fence and make some more cuts. So as you can see, we've got 3 lines now. Okay, so now what we're going to do is make sure that line is in line with the blade and make 2 more cuts. And there you go. Should be able to see all the little holes there. So we're getting it, and again, all we do now is do the same process, making sure you're using the outside line. Okay, use the outside line. Can you find it? And then we release the fence, scrap of wood in. That's perfect. And we do it again. So I'll finish off doing that and then we'll come back when I've just done the next couple of cuts, okay? Okay, so we've just done all the running and there you go. You can see that. You can see all the little holes in it. And of course it's the same on the other side. So now all the cutting's done, we have our favourite thing, which is sanding. Okay, so we've got a piece of 120 grit on just a steel rule here, just to do these slots here. Doesn't take long, doesn't take a lot. Move that. Flip her over. As you can see, it doesn't take very long. Especially if you've got a nice sharp blade in your saw, then it's half the battle won, that. Okay, so now we're going to take our palm sander, and we've got a 80 grit on there, so we'll just give this a quick going. So now we'll get another bit of 120, and just by hand, just quickly go over that. That's a lovely smooth touch to it. Okay, that's essentially it. But if you've watched any more of my other videos, you know I do like a beveled edge. So basically you need to pick the side you want facing up, and if the wood has got a slight bow in it, which this one hasn't, but normally you'd have the bow going that way, so that would be the top bow like that, so when you put it down it won't crack it. But this is pretty flat actually, and I'm quite impressed. So I'm going to have this side as my top, so I'm just going to bevel these 4 edges with the sander. And there you go, and that is it. It's as simple as that. Now what I tend to do for a finish, you can either leave it like this, or you could, as I've done in this instance, put some boiled linseed oil on it, because that is actually quite water resistant, so if something is spilt on it then it's not a problem. Yeah, so essentially that is it. Easy task. You can put some little sticky pads on the bottom if you so choose to protect any worktop, but if it's going in the garden, maybe a few little blocks of wood, doesn't matter. But again, that can be sold on your craft stools, or anything that you're doing hopefully this summer, and you could easily get £3 or £4 for that. Okay, so thanks very much for watching, and hopefully I'll see you again soon. Bye bye.